Hector Lombard.
Speaking of giant muscles.
Johnny Hendricks. Oh, he's the freakiest of the freak. Him and Yoel Romero.
Weird. Same Olympic team.
You ever see where he works out? When Lombard works out, everything is short. Like his chin-ups. He does chin-ups like this. Everything is like, it's not, there's no long, big motions, tricep extensions, very short. Everything is like not like full range of motion stuff. Everything is like short distances.
Huh.
It's interesting.
Wonder why.
I don't know, you know? Just his style of strength and conditioning and working out. And at 185, man, he's such a fucking gorilla.
Where's he training now?
He's ATT. See, look at that. See how he's lifting? Look. Yeah. Everything is like, he doesn't have like full range of motion with a lot of his exercises. He's a freak.
Yeah.
When he knocked out Nate Marquardt, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's amazing that, there it is right there. Yeah. It's amazing that Marquardt is still in there swinging.
Oh, Paul Harris.
He beat the shit out of Paul Harris. That was at 172, right?
He's a fucking scary man.
It's just so strange, this sport, how you get to see inside of a few-year period the guys rise and then complete falling apart.
Yeah.
You just get to see them at the peak, looking their best, and then you get to see them just really when you just hoping and praying that they stop doing it. And it all happens inside of 2 years.
It's like the music business.
It's worse, though, because they're getting beaten up.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting abused.
It is like the music business in a way, though, right? Like, think of a big music act from like 3 years ago that you can see at the Canyon Club tomorrow night.
Out of all the bands that get signed, 95% of them get dropped by their third album. They don't make it. They don't make it. Most bands don't make it. Only the very few make it. It's just like MMA.
Someone was telling me about Chance the Rapper. Is that the dude's name? He's not signed to anybody. He's selling out gigantic arenas.
Technically, yes.
Technically, what does that mean?
Yeah, he's technically, quote unquote, an independent rapper.
Right.
So he's not technically on a record label, but he's got great friends all over the map. His agent is the biggest agent in the music industry, or was. Kara Lewis, she's one of the biggest. So he's got all the help that everyone would need. You don't need the backing of a record label, which was like lawyers and promotions and all that. Right. He can do it all himself.
So the record label thing is kind of useless nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't help you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an amazing change in the world with digital. Amazing what happened with, it started out, Lars Ulrich, is that how you say his name? He saw the writing on the wall with that Napster shit. He saw what was happening, and he called it first. And then now you're seeing, like, the business is almost a completely different business than it was 20 years ago. It's all based on live performing. There's no money in, what does a person make from record sales these days?
It's point.
Unless you're a huge star.
Something.
Do huge stars still make it? They'll still make money off of albums? Like, does Kanye West still make?
Fuck yeah.
How much do you think he makes?
They're filthy rich.
Of course he's filthy rich, but is he making money?
You're filthy rich.
But that's not what I'm saying. Is he making money from record sales? Obviously, he's filthy rich because he's selling out arenas. But is he making money from record sales still?
That's a good question.
Does that make sense? God, this is a boring conversation.
I saw an article just the other day. I was trying to find it right now to pull it up, but it's just
I don't know.
Saying how a lot of pop music or people are charging a lot more for their tickets now, $200-$300.
Greedy bitches.
And that's where they're making a lot of their money back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. You got to do something.
Yeah.
How else are you going to pay for your fucking mansions?
It's
and
tour.
Your Bentleys?
All they do is tour now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure, man. Of course they are.
You have to.
Everyone's getting back together now. Shit. See what happened when Guns N' Roses? Holy goddamn shit. I ended up in Mexico City doing EBI the same time Guns N' Roses was in Mexico City. We went to go see them, and, man, I was completely blown away. They have so many hits. Slash is up there looking like a god. I was never the biggest Guns N' Roses fan. When they came out, I was all into Slayer and I was into Darkness.
Aerosmith signs first farewell tour dates. Oh, shit.
It's going to go on for a while, I was hearing.
Oh, shit.
They're all getting back together again.
I make money, man.
Even I hear Smashing Pumpkins might be getting back together. The original
I
lineup.
would go see that.
What's the original lineup?
James E. Hunt, Darcy. Smashing Pumpkins never really broke up, but it's always been Billy Corgan with a different band.
So it's going to be him again?
So it's going to be the whole band again. The original band
I
that
thought
blew
Billy
up.
Corgan was going crazy. Am I reading propaganda? He's not?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Isn't he like a conspiracy theorist now? Original Smashing Pumpkins lineup.
They're all fucking nuts.
I think the guy from Blink-182, is that what you're talking about?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. He's down with aliens, right?
Yeah,
he thinks
he wrote a
that
book about
aliens
it.
are...
Yeah.
What did he write?
Which one is this?
Tom DeLonge, he wrote a book about
What
UFOs.
did he write? He thinks that they're visiting us
He's got the
on a daily
documents, I
basis. Oh, how about that fucking basketball player? There's a basketball player
I know.
who thinks the world is flat, dinosaurs aren't real.
The unfortunate thing, too, is he went to Duke.
He's probably...
He went to Duke?
Only for a year, but yeah.
Wow.
Damn, Johnny Hendricks barely made 185. Look at that, 185.5. Lombard, 182. Interesting. I wonder if he's thinking about going down to 170.
Damn, I got it in red.
Lombard looks way more fresh.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
Looking at him backstage.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
This is
they
going to
just
be
touched
crazy.
gloves. Here they go. Here we go. Wow. Joe Martinez instead of... I wonder what's going on. Buffer's almost always at these events. I wonder why Buffer's not there. It just doesn't seem the same. I like Martinez, don't get me wrong. But unless you hear, it's time! And you see him beat red, screaming. Nobody gets to be pumped like Buffer.
Some shiny ass suit.
He gets crazy.
Yes.
He gets like hand-tailored suits made for specific events. Like he had one made for the UFC in New York. Like what was it? Was it 202? Yeah, UFC 202, and he has the date inside of it all embroidered and shit.
I played announcer, like Bruce Buffer / DJ at an underground fight. It was Never Back Down 2.
Yeah.
Straight to DVD. But I played the ring announcer, so I'm talking as the fights are going on. I'm kind of ring announcer / commentator / DJ. And man, I was horrible. I was so bad in it. But I did just try to do what Bruce Buffer would do. You know, I was like, how would Bruce Buffer say this name? And I was just basically doing terrible Bruce Buffer impersonations, and it's so cringe.
Here
it
we
makes
go.
me cringe.
Here we go. Oh boy. Hector Lombard, Johnny Hendricks, 455, 454, 453, 452 of the first round. If you want to sync it up.
This is huge, man.
Hector's just so fucking explosive. When you're watching him, it's like you're watching a gun about to go off.
This is like a championship fight.
Yeah, the distance that he can close is insane.
Well, the question is like, how motivated is Johnny? Like, how much did he prepare? Is he back to training like real hard all the time? And how much better does he feel at 185? I mean, maybe he's just back to old Johnny Hendricks again. I mean,
He doesn't look good.
physically.
Physically, he doesn't look good. He looks fat
Yeah.
and unshaven,
I'm
unkept.
glad you said that.
I
Good
mean-
inside leg kick. I didn't say that.
Yeah, I don't mean to be an asshole.
I just want
but-
to point out.
I
I'm not
think-
the body shamer amongst us.
Yes.
I think if he shaved the hair off his
I mean,
chest,
sorry.
you wouldn't be saying that.
Oh, big knee by Hendricks. He clipped him with that knee. He clipped him with that knee. That was a good knee. Damn, Johnny Hendricks still in the mix here. Interesting. Very interesting. You got to remember, Johnny Hendricks is a fucking hell of a wrestler.
And
You know?
he hits real hard.
Well, he was at 170 knocking people dead for a while, but you haven't seen any evidence of that lately, which is really interesting. He moved away from that left hand, though. He looked good there. Looked good there and moving away from that left hand. But with Lombard, it's like one fuck up. Just one fuck up, and you go night-night.
And he's so hard to take down, Lombard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
judo
so
world
hard to
champion,
take
right?
down. Yeah, he's judo world champ. I believe he was a silver medalist in the Olympics. No, that's Yoel Romero. What did Lombard compete in the Olympics? I think he did.
know.
I do not think he medaled in the Olympics.
I think
But
maybe
either way.
maybe Hendricks
Woo!
connected.
Oh, Jesus. Lombard just connected a big right hand over the top. I'm pretty sure. I know Yoel Romero was a silver medalist in the Olympics. There's a bunch of people that believe that Yoel Romero threw the Olympics for money.
That's a huge,
crazy conspiracy theory. Yeah, it's not mine.
CNN.
It could be
library.
It could be the library.
YouTube.
I have to hear all these like funny stories about, because my wrestling coach Daryl Christians was on the on the Olympic team and the world team with Joe Warren and all those people. So just the funny shit I hear about wrestling is just ridiculous.
Oh, they're animals. They're the animals of animals.
Fucking savages.
They're savages. They're the cornerstone of MMA. That's one of the reasons why it's so, like Yoel Romero is so interesting.
Yeah.
Is because if you talk to real wrestlers about Yoel Romero, and they'll tell you he's just a freak. It's just such an incredible athlete. And we're getting him while he's still, I mean, he might be 39 years old, but he's still able to put on shows and move like a freak athlete. Oh, Johnny with a left hand over the top there. I mean, that fight with Chris Weidman, holy shit. That flying knee, I mean, dude, he does it like nobody. Like who else fights like him? Who else explodes like that?
Take off half your head.
He's so scary. He's so scary.
And just
beautiful
so much stronger than
Johnny Hendricks right
people.
Back up. Good defense by Hendricks, avoiding that left hand. It hits him with an elbow. This could be interesting. If Lombard did not expect Hendricks to last, and this fight goes into the second and third, and Lombard starts to slow down a bit. And you also got to think, Lombard is coming off of a devastating knockout loss. You got to remember that.
Who did he fight last?
Dan Henderson.
Oh.
Remember he got hit with that back elbow? He got elbowed,
and
then he got fucking hammered when he was on the ground, too. Dude, that was a crazy fight.
He didn't move for a while.
Interesting that he's clinching with him.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. And this is like Johnny Hendricks' game. Johnny Hendricks is a hell of a wrestler. He's really good at manipulating bodies. You want to play clinch with him. If Johnny's healthy, you remember when he fought George St. Pierre?
Yes.
And George just could not do anything with him.
He was just picking George up, throwing him around.
Well, when George was trying to hold on to a single, and Johnny was like, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that leg. You ain't taking me down. And they're like, I'm an elite wrestler. Like, his level of wrestling, when he was in his prime, his level of wrestling is like as good as America has to offer at many points in time. Look at that. Beautiful trip attempt by Lombard, and Johnny Hendricks makes it through. Ooh, interesting. Here's the other thing. Hendricks looks kind of fresh here. He doesn't look like he's tired. He might have gotten in real good shape for this. Look, end of the fifth round. I mean, for real.
We don't know. Yeah.
Because you saw some bad fights from him, right? You saw some fights where he self-admitted that he only trained 4 days a week.
The last fight, he didn't look that good either.
Didn't look that good.
Magny fight?
Yeah. It was a real close fight.
Yeah.
That was a real close fight.
Yeah, that was
and he didn't make weight for that fight, too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why he's up at 185 now. Tell you what, though, you go back to the one... The Johnny Hendricks that knocked out John Fitch, the Johnny Hendricks that knocked out Marvin Kampman. Yeah, and he was just throwing bombs, man. He had like a death touch. He would hit guys, they would go flying.
It'd slide back on their heels.
It was weird. There was a couple knockouts that he had, particularly Fitch and Kampman, where it looked like he had some superpower. Like he had some crazy Street Fighter.
That overhand was just...
video game shit. Yeah.
Zap someone's life from him.
Yeah. But that's one of those things. It's like I was super excited to see Fedor this weekend. Super excited to see Fedor because I'm always wondering, like, when does a guy like that, like, how much does he still have? Like, how much is that? How much he takes all this time off? He comes back. Is he going to come back just like super pumped up to fight? Like, is Fedor going to come back as this, this version of who he used to be, or are we going to see the Fedor versus Maldonado that didn't look so good?
The pictures of him with the shirt off and stuff, he didn't look all that fit.
Well, he never looked all that fit.
But I'm saying worse than usual.
Well, one thing that I saw when I saw the picture of the weigh-in, I noticed that it looked to me like his shoulders were pretty full. This sounds so gay. I should probably stop saying it. He looked strong to me is what I was getting to. Fedor always carried a certain amount of body fat, never hurt him. He's never ripped, and he was the scariest guy alive for a while. Do you think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time? I kind of feel like you almost have to give it to him.
Yeah, for that era, because it was as someone that, I mean, literally, I've watched the sport my entire life. Like this is the one thing I've looked to. He was, because at that time. But I mean, since then, there hasn't been a heavyweight that struck fear into the people like he did. Maybe Cain Velasquez a little bit, but no one really cared. For some reason, even though he was frightening.
Cain just kept getting injured, unfortunately. Yeah. But when he was at his best, he was as horrific as they get.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's disrespectful to Fabricio Verdum. Like, realistically, if we're looking at it in terms of accomplishments, you have to really consider, like, when did Verdum catch him? Like, are we completely disregarding how good Fedor was up until the time Verdum caught him? Are we not giving Verdum the credit he deserves? Because Fabricio Verdum has tapped out 3 of the greatest of all time. Tapped out Nogueira, tapped out Fedor, and tapped out Cain. So it's hard, but then he loses to Stipe. He gets knocked out by Stipe. So then you want to, like, reestablish or reevaluate.
Now he's fighting Dos Anjos?
Yeah, Dos Anjos. He's going to fight Dos Anjos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's beat all the best people. So I don't
No,
know.
Fabricio's not fighting Dos Anjos. Stipe is fighting Dos Anjos.
Oh.
Dos Santos or Dos Anjos?
Dos Santos. Did I say Dos Anjos?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Junior Dos Santos.
Yes.
Sorry.
He's fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting Stipe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's going to be another good fight. Remember that first fight? That first fight was super close, but it was a crazy war.
They beat the hell out of each other.
Oh, it was awful.
Oh.
Woo. See, Johnny Hendricks looks, to me, way better here at 185 than he looked at 170 his last few fights. Oh, he just clipped him with a right hand.
Pretty slick for a fat boy.
Dude, he looks good.
Damn.
He looks good.
He does.
He looks
light
durable.
on his feet.
He's light on his feet. He looks fit. He looks durable. He just looks healthier. I mean, he maybe not look ripped, but the way he's performing looks better. Like, he's able to take it. Look at that. See, he's still throwing bombs, man.
His reaction time looks better.
He looks better. He looks better at 85. Dude, same thing I say about Calvin. You look at the Calvin that fought Tyron Woodley, the Calvin that didn't make weight, and Calvin looked tired. He just didn't look the same. Then you look at the Calvin that fought Tim. The one that fought Tim Kennedy was a fucking world beater, man. Kelvin Gastelum at 185 is a goddamn world beater.
Hell yeah.
He looks amazing. I mean, his grappling defense was incredible, and then he was light on his feet, and his hands were flowing. His chin is iron. I mean, at 185, that guy's fucking healthy. Yeah. And when he's healthy, you get to see the real guy. The real guy is super talented. Yeah. But we've been seeing the real guy that's smothered by weight cuts, like real hard weight cuts. And they just take too much out of his body. And I think you're seeing the same goddamn thing here right now. I mean, he might still lose his fight. Hector Lombard's still a fucking beast, right? But this is, to me, like the best Hendricks we've seen in a couple of years. I mean, and this is like a competitive fight.
Yeah, he looks good.
Good left hand over the top.
He's actually moving his head.
He's also, I think he's banking on the slowdown. Because the slowdown with Lombard, especially if he thinks he's got you hurt, is a real deal. Like with Neil Magny. Neil Magny managed to survive a hellacious storm. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Hellacious. He survived, and then Neil Magny eventually won by TKO. He got on top of him. He was beating him down, and Lombard just didn't have anything left to defend himself.
That was the second round, wasn't it? Or the third round?
I know.
He almost finished him at the end of one of the rounds.
Yeah.
And then he ended up finishing him after that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was the third round that he finished him. And it was just a crazy war. What's going on?
They're breaking him up.
Warning. Grabbing the fence. So we're in the second round. Second round, what's the time? Did they have the time back up? What do we got? A minute left? Lombard's slowing down, for sure. It just seems like some of those guys that have cardio problems, a lot of it is related to the actual style that they fight in, too. Ooh, knee, punch. The style of Lombard is like so sprint-oriented. And when he has to adjust that style and then become like a technical-oriented fighter, it's just not the same thing. Like, you're always on your heels in that first round. And your first round, you're always getting away from this just super athlete coming at you, just swinging, throwing lead, right? But then in the second round, you get a regular fighter.
Yeah.
And this is what you're seeing now. You're seeing Lombard's skills, which are still substantial, but you're not seeing any evidence of that freak athleticism anymore. Now he's fallen into a rhythm. See, like that.
Flat-footed.
Yeah. So, but see how he's throwing that kick? Like that's kick's landing and he's throwing it, but he's not trying to murder you with that kick, you know?
Yeah. Same with that
yep,
punch.
Same with that punch. It changes. It all changes in that second round, which is really interesting.
Hendricks keeps coming in with that knee.
Yeah. It's getting closer.
Look at this. Dude, Lombard's going back to his corner, and he looks very tired, and Hendricks looks pumped up. Fascinating. I had thought coming into this fight that this would be a fight where, you know, Johnny Hendricks is in a scary match with one of the most fearsome KO artists in the sport. I mean, you look at especially his Bellator highlight reels. Look at that knee. That was a beautiful knee by Hendricks. You look at his Bellator highlight reel back when he was murking people over there. Like, oh, my God.
Everyone was afraid of him.
Oh, my God.
He was huge.
He was huge. And he came over here, struggled a little bit at first, lost to Tim Bosch. Remember that fight?
In a boring
Wasn't a good fight for him. Just didn't open up. But the Henderson one, the last one, was the scariest lost. Because he got rocked by Henderson in the first, then Henderson rocked him, took him down, held him down, was beating him up on the ground. And then they had that crazy exchange where Henderson caught him with an elbow to the head and dropped him.
Yeah, off a single leg.
Yeah, dude. And you remember when his Instagram post? He had an American flag wrapped around him. He said, "I smoked that Cuban." That's so rude.
But it's acceptable because it's Dan Henderson. You know?
It's Dan Henderson. He can get away. Oh! Oh, he clipped him with that right over the top. But look at this. Hendricks takes it. Look. Looks good. Still light on his feet. Still moving. And not Lombard. Lombard totally flat-footed. And the more Hendricks does this to him and feints him and gets him to react and move, the more it keeps Lombard from recovering.
So it's a round apiece, right?
Boy, I don't know. I'm not a good scorer.
There's 2 rounds. The first one.
Yeah, I'd say a round apiece.
Yeah.
Johnny's looking better right now than he did last round.
Could you give the last round to Lombard? Was it possible?
I thought you were giving the last round to Hendricks because you were talking him up.
I'm asking, could you? Is it possible?
I don't think so.
So the last round you feel pretty clearly went to Hendricks?
Yeah.
The first round you think went to Lombard?
Yeah. Not by much.
I've been mostly talking shit. Interesting. Lombard throws what you would call short kicks.
Because it's short legs.
Yeah, but some guys that have short legs can extend. He throws the same way we were talking about how he, like, when he does his weightlifting, he has, like, short extensions.
Just like, yeah.
Do you think he does that so he could be powerful in, like, little short punches and short bursts?
I have no idea.
I wonder if there's, like, a theory to that.
You know in the Ultimate Fighter how they have 2 rounds and if it's a tie.
Oh, nice
they
knee.
Go to that third
Lombard's
round?
hurt.
What do you guys feel about that?
Which one?
A tie after a third. It's interesting.
Do it just like the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Would it push the fighters more?
I would imagine that it would a little bit for sure, right?
Give you more time. I mean,
you would also like maybe reserve a little in the tank and be. Johnny keeps hitting him with that left knee, man.
Yeah.
He's hurting him with that left knee. He sees an opening every time Lombard's closing in, and now Lombard is very flat-footed.
You really need to win that first round, you know?
Yeah.
That first round becomes very important.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's a 2-round fight. You know, they always used to do that in K1, and in Glory they do it too. Like in that fucking crazy one night where
like
Joe Schilling.
They do it the same way?
Better.
Three
How do they
fights
do
in
it?
one night?
Joe Schilling had 3 fights in one night in Glory Last Man Standing. It was fucking crazy.
It was so much fun to watch.
It was so
Sitting
crazy.
fucking front row like, ah!
And he got dropped in like the first or second round of his first fight. And then he comes back and knocks Simon Marcus out cold in the 4th after they had gone to war for 3 rounds and made them fight another round. It was crazy. I mean, that was... And then he fought again. And then he fought again on the same night. I mean, how the fuck is that legal? Who the hell sanctioned that?
It was fucking... Because, he had... How many rounds was that? And yeah, like you said, he got dropped in like the very first round or something like that. He was in.
Yeah, I think he fought 10 rounds.
So he you know,
he fought 10 rounds in a night. Cake boxing.
Heavy shit right there.
Yeah, I mean, they were all 3-round fights, right? Weren't they?
Artem Levin.
Were they 3? They weren't 2-round fights. They didn't make them 2-round fights in the semis.
No, they were 3.
No, they were 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And he fought 1-4. So 1-4 because they went 3 with Simon Marcus.
Yes. You had the final with Artem, but then he fought with, who did he fight in between?
Again, that knee, that Hendricks caught him with that knee. Look at that, he's hitting him with
bounce.
another one.
Oh.
He got tripped. He got tripped. Let's see how quick he can get up. Oh, he's just getting up. He just got right the fuck up. Wow. He just got up. He
Nice
gave
work.
up his back, everything. He knew Lombard was tired.
It slipped right off.
Slipped right off. There's your argument, Eddie, right there. It totally makes sense.
You want to promote offense on the ground, in my opinion. That would be the smart business move.
Lombard still closing in.
Johnny's finally tired.
Oh, they're both tired right now, but Lombard seems like he's a little fresher all of a sudden. I think he smells blood. Ooh, that front kick to the body, and again.
Ooh.
Ooh, the kick to the body. Interesting. Lombard looks much better now. Ooh, oh, nice leg kick by Johnny.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. What happens now? Oh,
His
he hurt his
hand's
hand.
broken,
Yeah, he
yeah.
hurt his hand. Wow, he broke his hand. He might have broke his hand with that one punch he threw.
Or just sprained his wrist.
Maybe he's got carpal tunnel. You know, you never know.
It is possible. Good point.
You think
he could've sprained
you
his-
think that's going to sway the judge's decision?
I don't know. You know, I mean, what did he really do? I mean, he hit him with a couple of good body kicks. But
And then the hand. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
hand getting broken.
who knows? I mean, there's
Right?
nothing you can do about that.
No, I know, but
It was so
it's
late,
still like,
so late in the
hey,
round.
he broke his wrist.
Nah,
He got hurt there at the end.
I don't know.
He's kind of like,
No, I don't think that would mess with
you
the
don't
judging.
think, no?
No.
It's not going to have anything to do with the judging? The end of that fight, the way it looked? No? Okay.
I think if we were
I
really
don't
going
know.
to judge it,
Oh, you mean him running around?
At the very end.
we would have to
Would
actually
it push
judge it, though.
Would it push it one way or the other? You know, that ending. That ending with the wrist.
Yeah.
But do you really remember the first round clearly? I remember moments. I mean, the second. I think
super high.
He
your
got taken
method-
down once.
That method that you were doing when you were doing it for the UFC, when you were the unofficial Harold Letterman for the UFC, that was great. That was fun. And you had a really good point to it. And it helped me because you would like quantify it. I'd be like, why'd you give it to that guy? And you're like, well, he got the 2 takedowns, but he hurt him with the leg kicks and hit him with the punch. And I was like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
You're like, I just felt like that mattered more.
You got to take notes.
You had a whole system.
Yeah, if you're going on air to give your analysis of the fight, you got to know your shit.
You were
So
really good. You should do that again, man.
If they had like, you know, when the HBO boxing, it'll be, Eddie Bravo's breakdown of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We'll have all your little numbers.
You have to
your
write
little
it down.
You have a fucking little chart.
But the
have a
way
little-
you wrote it down was,
you know.
the way you did it was really good.
a hologram
You had
version
a
of
good
you.
system. I feel like Johnny Hendricks might have this. Barely paid attention to this fight. I'm just over here. My unofficial take on the official take. Big rig. All right. See, I told you. I know. Motherfuckers doubt me.